All right, we got a shorty but a goodie here, this video. We're talking about surrendering to God and the most fundamental, foundational truth that we need to incorporate into our surrendering to God. Hey, I'm Father Mark Mary with the Franciscan Friars of the Renewal, and this is Ascension Presents. Like I said, it's going to be I think it's going to be a short, to the point video. And I'm going to share, we're going to talk about surrendering to God. We're going to talk about this most necessary step in leaving resentment behind, or growing in virtue, leaving behind vice, living totally open, surrendering to God and all that He wants for us. And it's something that's really been brought home. One of the most important foundational life-changing truths, which has sunk in my decade or so of religious life. And I learned it like this, is coming to religious life when I was 24, I just wanted to be hardcore, right? And I came to religious life and I woke up each morning telling God all of the great things I was going to do for Him, the prayers I was going to say, the sacrifices I was going to make, the disciplines I was going to endure, the extra good works that I was going to do. It was a little bit me-centric, and God can work with that. God's patient, and he was maturing it. But also it was me strength-centric. This is all the things that I'm going to do for you, God. And life happened, and struggles came, and like I didn't change in everywhere that I wanted to change. And as I've been praying and living my own spiritual life, and as I've been talking with and counseling with others, this one it's just been brought home so deeply, so convictingly, that wherever we're trying to grow, whatever virtue we're trying to grow in, whatever vice we're trying to leave behind, step one has always got to be going to God and asking Him for help. Step one is always going to God and asking Him for help, because it's not all about us. It's not all dependent on us. God is good and present and active and at work in your life, and He knows that we are not strong, and He knows we need His help. And He wants to come into our situation and come into the struggle and come into our journey and strengthen us and help us. And so if you are dealing with a difficulty in surrendering, maybe surrendering a particular relationship, a particular situation, maybe you're dealing with surrendering because you've been hurt, and you're trying to forgive, but you're still holding on to this resentment, and it's been years and years and years, and you can't get rid of it on your own, but you've tried. Or there's a virtue you're really trying to grow in, and you're struggling, or a vice that you've had for a decade again, and you just can't leave it behind. My prayer is this. My prayer I invite you to pray is this: God, I give you permission to take what I'm not strong enough to give. God, I give you permission to take what I'm not strong enough to give. And I think it's really healthy, mature spirituality. I think it's humble, and I think it's sincere, and I think it expresses a poverty. And I've just seen in my own life, and I'm just deeply convicted that God hears the cry of the poor, and that when we cry out as His sons and daughters, His little sons and daughters of need of His help, especially for something so good, growing in virtue, leaving behind vice, God's going to be with us, and He's going to help us, and He's going to respond with His grace. So my brothers and sisters, I offer that to you as a prayer to pray, as a prayer to pray, to incorporate into your daily spiritual life. God, I'm trying, I'm struggling, but I'm weak and I'm scared, but I trust in You and I want it. So Father, I give You permission to take what I'm not strong enough to give. I thank You for watching. I thank You for praying. I thank You for really seeking to love the Lord with all of your heart, all of your mind, all of your soul, all of your strength. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Remember, we're pilgrims. We're pilgrims on this earth, but somos peregrinos, but poco a poco, little by little, vamos a llegar. We're going to make it with God's help. All right, a little shout out, word of gratitude, affirmation to our Franciscan missionaries of the Renewal in the Bronx, helping us out at our homeless shelter, St. Anthony Shelter. bros, you guys are good, and your sacrifice is real, and you're loving the poor really well, and I'm just really proud of you. So thank you so much, even though I don't get to go over there and say it to you very often. Peace. God bless.